Hey everybody, it's Jason with Parallel Reality coming back here today with an article from December 29th, so last year from the time I'm recording this. It's from Breitbart, and this one's going to be pretty heavy, and there's going to be some me trying to disguise some words here, because you can see what the headline is already. This Israel submits report to UN detailing torture of hostages by Hamas. And I'm sorry, but if you are one of the Free Palestine people, this is the kind of crap that you support. Okay, so it's not the whole thing from what I've seen, but you'll get the idea. And again, this is heavy, and if you got kids around, you probably do not want to have them hear this. So just to let you know, just a warning ahead of time. So the article says Israel is preparing to submit a report to the United Nations later this week that describes the torture suffered by Israeli hostages abducted by Hamas to Gaza last October 7th, including this type of assault here, you can see, with the, naughty word, and the branding of children. It says the report was compiled based on medical evidence and testimony gathered after a year of treating hostages that were released or rescued. It will be submitted to Alice Edwards, the UN Special Rapporteur on torture and other cruel, inhuman, or degrading treatment or punishment. And the report says, in part, and this is where you want your kids to have earmuffs on, says women, men, and children who returned from captivity reported that they endured severe physical and that type of abuse that I just went over before, such as beatings, isolation, deprivation of food and water, branding, hair pulling, and, again, that word there, but assault this time. It says additionally, some of them reported that the captors assaulted them that type of way or forced them to undress. Says the hostages were denied medical treatment for acute injuries caused during October 7th and subsequently, in addition for untreated chronic conditions. Yeah, I was going to say, like, right there, I don't think they'd have, like, the right medications for the people that they took hostage, so I'm not sure, like, I'm not trying to, like, soften what they did, because they should absolutely be held responsible for that, but, like, I mean, what are they going to do? You shouldn't take hostages in the first place, obviously, but it's like, I don't get that. Like, why mention that? Like, if chronic conditions, it's not like they're going to be like, oh, well, what medication do you need? Now, but I guess in a way it's going, yeah, well, these people are going to be tortured, and there you go. That's a form of torture, I guess. So, yeah, I came back around to the other side. So, yeah, there you go. So it says fractures, shrapnel wounds, and burns were treated inadequately, leading to complications which required additional surgeries that could have been prevented with proper care. And again, I would go back to what I just said about the last sentence, so that's in all likelihood is considered torture. So it says, upon arrival in Israel, intensive treatment was given to the returned hostages, and the captors also tortured those injured by performing painful procedures without anesthesia. Yeah, and I saw that in a different place, and I was wondering if this was going to say it here, and there it is. So imagine that. You had like a bullet wound or something, or like a burn, and these people were just like, yeah, anesthesia, what's that? I don't think you'd like that very much. Continuing on with what happened, it says about half of the returned hostages described being deliberately starved during their captivity. They were given a poor diet, which often led to hunger that worsened over time. So in captivity, the hostages were often subjected to solitary confinement, poor sanitation, severe medical neglect, lack of sleep, starvation, sexual abuse, violence, threats, and brainwashing through media designed to break their spirit and make them submissive. And I think it's okay to say this, at this point, which is why I said it. So, but that was kind of hinted at what I was hinting at before. So, says two of the children that were held together during captivity reported that they were held bound and were beaten throughout their captivity. Signs of binding, scars, and marks consistent with trauma were found. Additionally, two young children had burn marks on their lower limbs. One child stated that the burns were the result of a deliberate branding with a heated object. Both the child and adults who were with him in captivity described the incident as a purposeful branding event, not an accident. It was described as an extremely traumatic experience. Yeah, I mean, they're kids. So, I mean, that's just kind of the tip of the iceberg. There's a lot more to it, like I was hinting at earlier. And if you have a strong stomach, then go look it up. So the Times of Israel reported Sunday that a Hebrew language version of the report includes evidence that terrorists forced two teenage hostages to perform sexual acts on one another. Yeah, so imagine that as well. So again, the Free Palestine people, this is what you're supporting. This President Isaac Herzog reacted to the report, saying the UN has the facts. It is morally obligated to do everything in its power to bring the hostages home now. Yes, because they've been doing that so much over the last 15 months since the hostages were taken. The UN's not going to do anything. The UN's useless and should be dissolved. says there are 100 hostages still in Gaza, including 7 Americans, and up to 2/3 of them are believed to still be alive. And hopefully, and that's the end of the article. And hopefully, when Trump gets in office in just a few weeks from when I'm recording this, then that'll change, and Hamas will have another major problem, that being the United States, to have to worry about here. So I just wanted to get this out there and just kind of show this is what's been happening right here, and yeah, it's not good. And like I said, if you have a strong stomach, go look up the whole thing. It's worse than what I read here, like substantially worse. But there you go. So just again wanted to get it out there. So let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Please like, share, subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.